We are about 2 years old. We're based in Palo Alto, California, and our mission is to let the world build and see and run a new generation of enterprise applications. And these new generation applications, you can think of them like, it looks like Facebook for the enterprise. They all deploy on the cloud, and huge support for mobile applications. Well, one very critical thing when you're developing enterprise application is compatibility. So if you have a one-off, the problem is the source of data, the way the user interacts with the other users, it's going to be looking very inconsistent all the time because you have a lot of applications. Any company you go inside into, they will have application for HR, they will have application for employee benefits, they will have application for order management, they have applications for manufacturing. So this will be literally implementing a new model for all the applications and data to make them compatible and the users can share. So it's a very important thing, I think inside the enterprise, in terms of the model, the sharing, and how things get done, the business process, how to get implemented. This will be much more free flow and encouraging, people to be able to share and look at processes in the company. Historically, most of the web applications are one-to-one. It's from the company to one individual users. These new type of applications will be users to users, so you can have your friends joining you when you're dealing with the telephone companies. The telephone companies will have groups of people coming in to be working with them. They have groups of people to be selling to. So we are regenerating basically and rethink all of the enterprise applications that, that exist today into a completely new format. We don't differentiate industry at all. These kind of software, we're first catering to sales individual and people that are participating in the sales process. It's just that it's more pronounced. It's obvious why they need to share things. And historically, you cannot invite your customer in participating in your sales process. It'll be the first time that we have a view specifically for inviting the customer in to be working with you on an opportunity. It could be groups of enterprise users that are working inside a company. You're working for a company, or it could be a group of consumers interacting with an enterprise as well. Well, we have introduced the application. The application has been in beta for quite some months since the end of last year. So we have a large contingent of users that are using the applications, and they have their colleagues invited in, they have their bosses invited in. So we don't charge them yet at this point in time. Individual users don't have to pay. So at the end of next month, we are expecting to ship a product that allows teams of users to use it, and they will have management capability overlaying on top of just people working together. So that will be our first revenue product. Well, in the enterprise software industry, it's kind of interesting because historically, what happened is we saw the migration from mainframe to distributed computing, to client server, from client server to distributed computing, to then we have this huge climb when we moved to the web. And from the web, in the last generation, we have service-oriented architecture, and then now this whole social-based computing. Each time, we saw the big climb comes from rewriting these applications. So basically, new application growth. And each time, we saw huge growth in the number of applications and the number of participating users. That's really important for us. How many users are actually touching the software? So if you look at how many users are touching the software now as compared to 30 years ago, it's dramatic. But comparing enterprise application being touched by the user comparing to consumer software being touched by the user today, there's still a huge gap. The goal of this new generation of enterprise software is to close that gap so the users will have a lot more access to a lot more data, and be able to rationalize the data a lot better for them and to make them more productive. So we should see, if we are successful, a dramatic growth in terms of the number of applications, how many of them being used by the users directly, how much are the users influencing these applications and process in the company. Well, young kids, as you witness, they don't even use email anymore. They use a social networking tool to share. And their willingness to share openly with information is astonishing, right? So that has huge implication to the way we should be thinking about information, sharing, privacy, security of the information. Now, you show up at work, it is a little different. What belongs to the company really belongs to the company. What, from a governance perspective, that you cannot share, you should not be sharing. So we have to put systems in place not to slow down the sharing, concept, but yet at the same time govern the things appropriately so we don't end up with wrong things ended in the wrong hands, right? And tripping the laws and hurting the company itself. So I think time is now to have these type of applications emerging in the marketplace. So when you show up at work, it looks familiar. It's still encouraged to get things done very quickly. You connect it to everyone you need to be connected to, yet it protects the company, it protects you.